righty, ladies. Good evening, evening-ish, afternoon. Happy Sunday. And welcome to Sunday School this fabulous and wonderful rainy Sunday afternoon here in Tampa, Florida. All right. Hopefully the weather is better for you all this July 14th, right? And it's my father's birthday, so shout out to Pop. So I wouldn't be here without him, right? Because my daddy was born on July 14th, right? And so we are here today, and it's a lovely day, and we're going to get into these markets. Despite all the craziness going on in the world, we'll get into that later, and I have let you guys calm off Mike and say, come on, Mike, excuse me, and say whatever you want to say about the shenanigans this weekend and let your feelings ride. That's what we're here for. Let it out, ladies. I'd love to hear it. But before we get into that, I'm going to bless this room with a little bit of positivity before we take on the shenanigans of the world. All right. And we're going to focus on unconditional love because that's what this world needs, right? Unconditional love. So our affirmation this Sunday goes like this. I allow myself to be open to giving and receiving love without fear of rejection. I give without expecting recognition or acknowledgement in return. When I am loving to others, I am helping bring out the innate love within them so they also feel uplifted, worthy, and cared for. I love myself the way I am, not the way I was or could be, and I extend this love to others. I teach others how to love and respect me by how I love and respect myself. And that's what we're going to lead with today. As you guys have this, I have this smile on. I can't wait to hear what y'all gonna say. I'm like laughing already. Oh Lord. All right, you guys ready for Sunday school? Let's get into it. So, just like we do every session, we take some time and we review headlines, weekend headlines. Oh, and what a headline do we have this weekend, right? Most Sunday schools, we come in here and we're like, oh, nothing too groovy going on, right? But of course, every once in a while, we get great news over the weekend that gives us something to talk about or maybe a distraction, right? Got to be careful out here in these streets, in these United States streets out here. All right. So, um, we'll just hit it right on the head, right? And start with good old infamous Trump here, who if you didn't know, now you know he got shot at this weekend. I shouldn't be laughing. Hold up. Oh, spirit, work on me. You know why I'm laughing? Because it's all staged and set up in a certain way. And it's just funny how the United States tries to put things on like this headline here. The FBI identifies Pennsylvania shooter at Trump rally. Unseen footage reveals crowd identifying a gunman. Okay. Or do we already know who? You know what? Don't see when you work for the government like I have, and then when you have people in your family that work for the government like I have, you start to recognize when the government really do put certain players in place to do certain things. So this is hilarious to me for a few different reasons. I also believe that Trump, due to his immunity that he has, you cannot walk around with that much immunity and not get shot at. I mean, like what? So essentially his immunity, right? Like to sum it up, right? His immunity makes Trump to where he can literally walk around in the streets and shoot people if he wanted to, and he don't go to jail for it, right? He can kill whoever he wants and get away with it. That's the type of immunity they gave this man. Now, from the power of the universe, that is of an imbalance, a very strong imbalance to the universe that needs to be dealt with. Okay. And I am going to sit back and drink my wine and pop popcorn in my mouth and watch this whole thing play out. for my comfortable seat, right?
Oh
Because
my God. Honestly, just have to say it's been nothing but a never-ending source of entertainment.
that's what I'm
Honestly.
saying.
Karma is real, and that bitch is funny as hell.
You just can't do that in
You just
America.
can't make this shit up. No, you just can't.
You
It's
can't
awesome.
make it up. And the funny thing
It's
is,
just awesome.
America don't realize how much they're pulling their own pants down. I really need America to stop pulling their own pants down. Please and thank you.
Not enough for nothing, but I also really, I'm just at this moment so tired of the weekend of Democratic hand wringing that's been going on about we need to have a different old person run for president. You know what?
A different
Whatever.
old person.
We need just elect the person who is not crazy and getting shot at. How about that? Does
I
it
say
really
that to the
matter? Does
utmost
it really
respect
matter?
for my up to the utmost respect to my elders who are not crazy. Okay, this does not apply to you,
Right.
right? A new old person is not going to solve this problem. Like that's
But
like
listen, and a young person's not going to get elected because this man is crazy. Honestly, we have a president who's been pretty good for an 81-year-old guy. So gotten a lot done. Let's give him a lot of credit. Joe deserves a lot of props. Stock market's at the highest it's ever been, right? Especially on the trading side of the trading desk, we can't complain right now
right,
when it comes
right,
to who's in Washington, right? But the
right.
reality is that this man getting shot at is by far some of the funniest news that I have seen in a very long time. And I totally
I'll
think,
just take
and
your
the first
purpose.
thing, my phone started blowing up, and everybody's like, "This is a setup." He
Yeah,
only
for
got
you can
wig. He got
tell.
winged. He got whizzed by so that he could stand there like Mussolini with a little blood on his cheek and his fist in the air. Give me a break. Somebody didn't yell cut.
And then that's
Seriously.
the thing, like the whole like, oh,
Oh,
they know who the government is. Like, hold on. Now let's just go into let's take out this event and let's look at other events that have happened throughout history where people have made the sacrificial death of themselves in alignment to the play or whatever their country wants them to do for you guys get what I'm talking about. It's the same people
wait.
that sacrificed their lives that ran the planes into for 9/11, right? We're talking
Right,
about
right,
these
right,
type of people.
right,
And
right. No,
if
no.
anything, it's
Mm-mm.
the same type of person that could have possibly been down there to pull the trigger
They
towards
could have
this
just had
because
slightly better aim. Seriously, just inches. We weren't asking for a lot. Jesus, seriously. At least we could stop listening to him on TV if that were the case. It's
no,
the little things, you know.
I just want to see how this whole thing play out. I think this is the start of a nice, this is like the curtain has opened. This is scene
Well,
one, act one.
and the rest of our comedy continues tomorrow with the beginning of the Republican National Convention being held
No,
in
that's what I'm
Milwaukee,
saying.
Wisconsin. That's right, being held in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that he has already called a shithole.
And that's what I'm saying. Like
Awesome,
the
awesome,
timing of this, like in the how Republic
crazy.
in their gun laws and like all of these things that this aligned with. Oh, please pass the popcorn, ladies. I am
Yeah,
ready for this
seriously,
show.
absolutely. I am down for popcorn for sure.
Down for it. All right. So we'll see how, maybe this will help, because the market look like to me is going to short itself anyway. I was calling that before I saw his ugly face on the news yesterday. So we can go with that and that may help. And then you got Powell speaking tomorrow. So this is going to be very interesting. I just love the how the events are lining up right now. This is great. So speaking of that, let's go to Forex Factory and let's look at this week. Okay. We have tomorrow the Empire State Manufacturing Index. We're going to come in here bright and early tomorrow, ladies, and we're going to watch this data play out. I'll see what I can do because I have a few events to do with my daughter as far as like a pop-up around Powell or at least like a power hour in the afternoon. I'll see. You guys know where to find me if I do one. Um, but overall, we'll come in here and we'll see how this data plays out, and then we'll watch the morning market open and just kind of go from there and probably wrap it up by 10 unless you guys have any new surprises come. You never know in this crazy world. We're America. We like to keep people on edge. So who knows? So we have Powell speaking tomorrow, right? He speaks at the Economic Club of Washington, D.C. Audience question. Oh, this is gonna be and man, Esther, you made a comment last week before we even knew Trump was even in the mix. Oh Lord have mercy. I
Honestly,
gotta see how this
I think at this point, Powell should just like throw us a bone on the Democratic side, right? Like just lower rates. Like it doesn't have to be this week, next week. It
but
could
the
be
but the cool thing about the
September,
Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve does not have to care about the
I know
election. They
that.
don't.
I know that, and you know that. But the reality is that this country needs to like calm the hell down. And if the
Yeah.
market, if
But
they
this,
lower rates just a
but to
quarter of a point,
me,
that
this
actually
is
will
a
be good.
war between one old white man and another old white man. And I'm just sitting here eating my
I'm so
popcorn.
tired of the old white man. I'm so tired. Just turn around and like hand it all to Kamala and go, here, fix it. You want shit done, just get a bunch of black women in the room and just hand it over. They fix
I mean,
it.
for real,
For real. To fix
a
it.
black woman need to walk in there with a switch.
Mm. Oh,
Yes,
she's gonna walk in there with her mommy finger. I'm very excited. I am very excited. The
nice
prospect of
switch,
Kamala as president makes
good
me very
old switch.
happy.
A switch put me in my place. A switch put a whole bunch of other ladies on this call in their place. How many of y'all ladies got beat by switch?
Well, you
You
know,
ain't
A
never
belt. It
tried
was a
your
belt.
mama again.
It was a belt. It was my dad. My dad was from Trinidad. My dad used to say, I brought you into this world and I could take you out. And many years later, I met another friend who was also Trini, and she said, "Oh, my dad did one better. He used to say, I brought you into this world, and I could take you out, and I can make one that looks just like you, and no one will ever know the difference." No,
my
you're fine.
mom
You
used to
believe
say
that.
the same thing. My mom would say the same
My
stuff.
mom told me that to this day, and she on the call. So she didn't probably told me that sometime last week.
That's so funny. Well, the VP spoke at our boule this past week. She did
Mhm.
extremely well. It was
Are
good. She's good.
you talking about who are you speaking?
Kamala Harris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
same
I don't know
person.
what else. So what did you gather from her speech?
I mean, pretty much she's still behind Biden.
Okay.
And
She has to say that.
of course. But I actually think she means it. Um, and then, she kind of went over just basically the women's rights issues, how we need to definitely be standing up for that, and just all the little political issues, and the political pundits, and that's our sorority sister. So, we did a little bit of the sorority stuff. So yeah, it was cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a long
Um,
wait though. That Secret Service stuff was ridiculous. And then TSA was the one doing the damn patting down. So it took forever to get in there.
oh wow. Well, it's gonna be an interesting week, ladies. I'm interested because this is just news to talk about and things like that. I'm interested to see how the country is gonna like further respond, especially with the stock market. I'm waiting on that. We got we got like less than an hour to see the initial response to the market. So we'll see how this goes. Um Other news that we have expecting as far as like data that the Fed cares about would be retail sales right this week. Okay. And then we have unemployment claims per usual, and that's about it. So I guess we needed something to shake up this week since it's a quiet data week for us, as far as like, inflation data goes. So here we are, right? And of course the headlines is just nothing but Trump. Like, oh, just let me stop laughing. I can't take this. I can't take it serious. I just can't take it serious when you know too much. You just
You
can't
know he
take that too
staged this,
serious.
right? I
I
just believe
know.
it's staged. I believe
Honestly,
it's staged.
I
the
know. The whole thing is
hysterical
staged.
laughter,
That's
I
what
just can't
I'm
control
laughing.
it. I just can't control the hysterical laughter every time I look at that picture. I'm sorry. I feel the horrible. I'm not a horrible person because he's a horrible person. There's a special ring in hell waiting for him. Right, right. Like they've polished up the china. He's coming. But maybe
I
the next
believe
time
in
somebody will have better aim.
Yep, I believe in 15 to 20 years it'll come out that he stayed, that the whole thing
The
was
whole thing is
Absolutely,
staged. I believe the whole thing is
absolutely,
staged. I
totally.
believe they intentionally missed like a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe this whole thing is a Republican Party agenda. Like this is just a whole thing, and I just can't like Ken said 25 years. It may be faster than 25 years because let me tell you, the teenagers right now, nah, it ain't gonna take 25 years. Like the truth gonna come out a lot sooner because this is hilarious to me. I agree, y'all. I shouldn't be like I have true empathy for people. I really do. But because this is just a bunch of foolery, you just gotta laugh at it. All right, you just gotta laugh at it. That's all I can do. All right. Other news that we may find more important. Hopefully, the market can stabilize. We just gotta see what the market's gonna do with this, even if the market even does anything with it, right? And then how Powell responds if they throw in any questions about him tomorrow, about Trump to Powell tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. And I think Monday will really set us off to where I will know better about how all of this is taking effect on the market. Right. Other than that, business as usual when it comes to like high prices, mortgage rates as we see here and things like that. Google, as far as like technical companies, technological companies doing their thing, business as usual, right? Because those things are still going to go on as they do. Like Google don't care 100% that Trump got, shot to a certain extent. Yes, but then when it comes to what they're inventing, that's what I mean. So take my words very carefully. If we're thinking from an AI inventor perspective, right? They're going to do what they're going to do, and their inventions are going to help pivot or pilot certain behaviors of political parties and things like that, right? Because tech helps kind of pioneer what we do next. I mean, the politicians tend to use tech to drive other agendas. So let's just see how everything gets, AI is wrapped up in all this in various ways. And so there's just a lot going on here. So go from there. Other than that, we know what the real headlines is. So I'm not gonna beat the dead horse on that old man that needs to be out. We're gonna get into these charts. I have a little bit of charting started here with yes. This is new lines that I just charted. All right. And we can finish it out. Doing my weekly. I think weekly, daily to 2 hour on ES right now. But we can go to the September chart. We can do it together so we can all be on the same page and acknowledge the same levels and see where price goes from here. All right. So first and foremost, let's take a look at these candlesticks. We'll do SPY, okay, as well. We'll do our normal. And if anybody has any others you guys really want to ensure we cover, I am ready to write them down. You guys let me know, but we'll do ES, SPY, Apple, NVIDIA, XOL, and CAT. I have those on my radar. Of course, taking a preview look at the Dow and the NASDAQ. And we'll close with like a quick view at USD JPY. All right, Esther, I got you. I'll add silver and any other ones outside of the ones I named we can do as well. As maybe an interesting week with Trump getting shot now. Oh, I gotta stop laughing. Oh God, okay. It really tickles me every time I say it, I just laugh. All right, so here we go. Weekly. The first thing we're going to do always is we're going to acknowledge weekly fair value gaps so we can have support and resistance from a larger time frame. We don't have any resistance as we made a new all-time high this week. We made a nice new all-time high. You can mark that all-time high if you want, or you can turn on the indicator in trading view like I have, which will always show you the highest level of the current chart that you're on or time frame that you're looking at, okay? That's good enough for me. All right. From here, I am going to chart support, and we have weekly support from 5609 to 5583. I say to relax. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. All right, we're good. So from 5610 to 5558, we have this weekly fair value gap, all right, the open and the close. And then of course we have a lower fair value gap here opening at 5487. There are two distinct candlestick patterns within there that are consolidation, and price would need to come down and break that before entering the lower fair value gap. So please be mindful of that. As I do believe the way we closed on Friday left the weekly candle in a position that could emphasis on the could, bring us down to at least wick through this lower fair value gap. Wick in it. I'll say at least wick in it. Wick through it. That's always subjective. But we have some great news this week that I feel like we could really wick through this. And then I like the fact that it's kind of have a hammer vibe to it. It has a long wick at the top, showing rejection from the top. So our candle could come in here and push downward nicely, right? And maybe be like some type of, it could be a few different things, right? So I do believe we could come down. I am ready to short more than I am ready to go up. But I'm waiting on confirmation one day at a time to figure out exactly. I'm going to start with probably shorting and then go from there. All right. With a shorting mindset. On the daily, as we drop down to the daily, we see how Friday closed. Friday ran up and met the high pretty much right at it, and then came back down by the afternoon. I'm so glad I was not super eager to press the call button on SPY on Friday. I waited because I had a feeling the afternoon on Fridays, it's the end of the week. So I had a feeling that it could do some shenanigans. So I made my money in the morning, which was great, and then kind of stayed out and let it do its thing. We closed here at 56.64. And to me, this is not a signal that we're going up or down. We could potentially chop. We could chop to the point where we would come through this daily fair value gap, right? So we want to acknowledge the close of this daily fair value gap. And the close of that daily fair value gap is at 55.95. 55.95 is the close of the daily fair value gap, right? We can also see that the close of our weekly fair value gap is also the open of our new daily fair value gap. All right. The indicator for that high, Deborah, is, I just saw your comment. What did I do to put that on there? Give me a second. Trading you got so many. For those of you who had one-on-ones with me, y'all know we be all in this trading me. Trading me got so many buttons. Labels, I think, is where it's at. So what I do is on the x-axis here to the left of the chart where you see your numbers, if you right-click on it and then you scroll down to labels, high and low price labels, you check it on and check it off. All right, so I checked it off and check it back on, and it'll show a low too. Usually the low will show up. Usually when I'm on like a small time frame, like a 15-minute or something like that, you'll see a low down there too, depending on like what area of the screen you're on. You're welcome, but that's where it's at, and that works for me because we're always making a new all-time high, and I'm just tired of moving my lines. It's my personal preference on the top, so that low high indicator is good enough for me. I just need to know where it's at. All right. So we have the weekly, let me say that one more time. Our weekly fair value gap close equals our daily fair value gap open. Our weekly fair value gap close equals our daily fair value gap open. So we can label that as such. Weekly fair value gap close, right? Slash daily. Oops. Fair value gap open. All right. And this is the daily fair value gap close. Okay. And of course, this weekly line is a weekly and daily opens, right? So the 56.10 is our weekly, and I'll use the and symbol, and daily fair value gap open. All right. So this is great. So talk about like a first target of hitting into the weekly or testing the daily fair value gap, right? If price, price can chop in various different ways here, ladies, and we're fairly close. If we were to measure 56.54 where we close, down to that opening, that's $53. All right. Our current ATR should be down here somewhere. Give me a second. There's 48.45. So, I think we have a pretty good probability of testing that line, saying that it's only, $4 to $5, $6 within in that target range of the ATR. We can definitely get down there. All right. So how it wants to get down there, how many, if we get a day that only does 20 handles instead of like 20 handles back and forth instead of the 50, then we're not going to get down there on that day. Right. So how and the timing is going to be the tricky spot. Your patience is going to be what is going to lead you into profitability. And as long as you have patience for the trade to come down there, we should be able to exit with profit. All right. Now coming to the 2-hour. All right, we had some pretty significant violent moves, right? We came down really hard, we chopped around, we came up really fast, and then we started to come down really fast as well by Friday afternoon. All right, these 2-hour fair value gaps are my first target from an intraday trading perspective. Okay, we closed the first fair value gap already. That's why we ran back up. And the second candle, the way it's like coming down, or closed rather, and closed in a way to me where it's still trying to come down, come back down, especially since we have like a tweezer top up here. And we didn't leave a lot of liquidity from this 2-hour perspective. I'll have to go in the 15-minute in order to see where I may have a little bit to kind of get an idea where price may pop up to a little bit. But this is a 2-hour tweezer. And so a few things have to happen. I believe that it would need to come down first. If we find support here, then we can maybe come up. Not very likely the way these candlesticks look from my perspective. I think we would challenge this and build up to force it down. Remember, we do have kids left in the fair value gap here, and it seems like price may want to come down for them based off of the way it tweezer top twice, right? And kind of made this very interesting M looking pattern. All right. For price to really find support, it needs to come down here, that weekly fair value gap level, and stall out. It could find support higher because this is an order block, right? I'm not naive to that. But based on how strong it may want to come down, it may feel like, okay, well, I don't have enough support until I reach these lower order blocks, lower order blocks. All right, which are in alignment with the fair value gaps on the weekly and daily open. All right. Again, based off of the so exciting news this weekend, I have a great feeling that we could test this level, and I'm ready to slide it all the way down there, like a cakewalk. Like just drop it like it's hot. Just drop it. Okay, it's like I could totally feel that. I don't see anything else on the chart that would give us an upward indication. The 15-minute here does have this fair value gap. All right. There are no kids in it as of now. And we know that the kids in it doesn't mean it's going to come back up right away. So this would be my resistance fair value gap that I would change to red lines. And if you need to label them as 15-minute fair value gap open and close, you can do so. But this is perfect enough for me. I know this is my 2-hour down here. I know this is my 15-minute to the top. And then if you look, we have two fair value gaps. The first 15-minute has been wicked through, but again, based on the way this candlestick has closed on Friday, it does look like it could come down and test the second fair value gap down here. So if, for potential emphasis on the potential overnight, because sometimes overnight may not move as much as you may want it to. All right. If it does want to come down here to close the 15-minute fair value gap, it could do so. Right. 56.52 would be the first close to that 15-minute fair value gap. And that would leave us at a distance of, if we open exactly right here, which is never usually exactly the case. But that's $15 right there, you guys. And that is a clean trade. Usually price does kind of come down for its 15-minute. It may not do it overnight, but it could do it by the morning. We do have 8:30 news. We do have an 8:30 folder. So that target can likely get wicked through quickly and be a nice little $15 for you guys. If you're already in because you saw the pullback on Friday and you're waiting for it to continue down in here, then right on, right on, right on, guys. You guys doing good. All right. But if you're looking to get in, hopefully it opens this evening with enough room for you to still be able to make a decent profit. If it doesn't, then there's always another trade just around the river bend, as I quote one of my favorite singing Disney characters, Pocahontas. For those who know around the river bend, I've been using that one a lot. like, and things just aren't as bad as they seem. And if you could just wait to get around the river bend, then y'all know I got a Disney song for everything. Everything that we face in this market, there's a Disney song that applies perfectly. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right. So this is what I'm thinking for ES. All right. Let's move over to SPY. All right. Let me do the full screen view. And let's chart up SPY. SPY will be very similar. We're gonna come to the weekly. All right, and we're going to do the same thing as far as fair value gaps, but we want to mark them so we know our exact take profit target areas for it. Excuse me, guys. All right. So our weekly fair value gap is from 554 to 550 on SPY, and that lower fair value gap opens at 541. And come down to the daily. We have a daily fair value gap close that's in alignment with a little, what I'm trying to say, kind of a Band of Baby doji candle here. All right. And I want to point out something right quick. Let me put the line to that close, which is around 555. All right. If it comes down there. Now, let me go side by side and let me point something out. Side by side. Let's go to the daily on ES. Nope, let's go to 2 hour on ES. That's what I want to do. All right. Y'all know the discrepancies between trading ES and SPY, trying to figure out what price is going to stop one per each chart, right? So if you notice, the daily fair value gap opens at 56.10 on ES, right? But the 2 hour closes at 56.14. While we have this small little fair value gap on the daily closing at 55.55. All right. I do believe that this level, this 55.55, you see how when I line that up, doesn't that look similar to this little fair value gap close over here? So for whatever reason, price does not put a wick into the daily fair value gap. All right. For whatever reason, price does not put a wick into the fair value gap on the daily and weekly perspective. Please note that it may have to do with the 2 hour fair value gap close that's $4 above it. All right. Please make note of that. And so with SPY, as I drop down to the 2 hour here, and you see this gap, all right, and we know how SPY is with these gaps. It's a fair value gap. It's also a physical gap. If I mark the physical gap and make it purple, physical gap, that's on the 2 hour. Between here and, give me another line. And here, that's between 55, 55, Randy, this is SPY, not ES. 556 to 555, right? And that includes the little fair value gap in there, all right? So please note that as you buy puts on SPY, if you day trade SPY, all right, as to where your targets may be and how, SPY may or may not slip through there. I go for the may not. Sometimes SPY be acting stinking slow. Be getting on my damn nerves sometimes. So for me, I will take the 556 first versus the 555.
So wait a minute. You thinking it's gonna go below the first 2 hour one?
You mean this one right here?
No, the first one. I mean, well, I should say the last one.
So what price
The
are you talking
last
about?
one, the last fair value, that one. So you saying it's going to go below 557.61 in your
Yeah, I
belief?
could totally see Price doing this. Yeah, I can. Based off of what we got this weekend and Powell tomorrow, totally. Just for shits and giggles, because we don't all the rednecks who love Trump. Oh, I'm thinking about that. My precious and beloved savior Trump. No. Oh no. He
Oh,
got
you
no.
know what I have on the extended trading because there is a Harami bearish. That's why. Okay, so
If it's
not.
bearish, then that means that's even more reason why it would go
I
down.
mean Harami bullish. That's what I should say. The green, the big one is red, and the small one is green.
I thought that was bearish. Okay.
I thought that was bullish when the
I
small.
know, and the Haramis can fail that two candle pattern like that because sometimes you can get two greens and two reds to look like Harami. Um, but I don't use this in a day. I'm looking at the tweezer tops here, and I'm looking at. I do believe price can find support in this area. I do think so let's just look at SPY for a second by itself. Let's go back in 2 hours. I do believe SPY could finish out the fair value gap that it's in. All right. For sure to come down to 557. From there to there, I do feel it can come lower because of how it looks on the daily. And this small little fair value gap here that's in between here and the potential opening of the next one. And it's not that big of a difference when we measure it. You're talking about $3, and that's what SPY does on the daily, average daily anyway. I can definitely see it coming down to 554 because it's within reason of its ATR as well. You just need
That
the
would be
right
good for
push
me if
for it.
it did, but I have overnight fair value gaps too, so it would have to push through 559 before it gets to the next fair value gap.
So on 15 minutes, I see what you're talking about, but I'm just looking from where the candlesticks are drawing themselves and where it stopped is not strong support. So if we just look at SPY on the 15 minute, this little doji is not support. This larger order block is more support than a one candle order block. So we will look at this like this is a one candle order block and this is a multi candle order block. So a multi candle order block is always going to be stronger. And the more candles, the stronger it is.
Okay.
So with that, I really see SPY. I see SPY probably opening at 557 tomorrow morning. Like it probably fall down here overnight. It just depends on, like I said, how the country is digesting Trump being shot in the face.
Hmm.
And if I go with good old white boy mentality, they're all afraid for their precious Trump.
Well, yeah. Great.
So that would be fear. So fear would mean the market will go down. That's just my speculation analysis on it. We're gonna know the truth in a couple minutes. So
Okay. Are you guys trading live today on futures?
if the move gives it to me right, I can potentially jump in to ride this down to 56.45 if it wants to do some violent move this evening because of Trump. I'm for it. I'll ride the market with it. If this is going to be considered Trump, but going down is going to be Trump's blood drip down his face, I take that all day. I know that's messed up. But I'm just saying, like, if his blood's going to equal profits on my side, I'm take it.
Girl, you so funny.
Just making
I
crazy
I
information.
understand. I understand.
Ah.
But I'm a long term, so it says bearish for tomorrow on a daily, but we'll see.
Well, not uh I don't see how you can 100% say bearish 100 because like you can stay. Okay, so here's the thing. what I think from a
Oh,
long-term
that's on the
perspective,
SPX. I'm sorry. I'm
okay,
sorry.
let's go to SBA. So what I can think from like these candlesticks to me say chop. It doesn't confirm a direction just yet. I believe we can bounce in here, and this is why I'm saying down. I'm not saying like it's down, like, oh, the market's just gonna run down like something crazy. No, but I do think like tomorrow's candle could go in a bearish direction enough to hit a certain level, and then it can still close in a way that stays a bullish trend. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a reversal. It's just I do think tomorrow's candle could be a little more red than green. Um, we'll see how it closes. It could just be volatile doji as well. We don't know what's going on because our president, our felon ex-president, which is just a crazy thing to say. The fact that I can say that, right? And then Al speaking tomorrow, I just see a lot of chop right now. I don't necessarily see a full direction when it comes to swing trading. If I was swing trading, I would wait. I'm not really looking to get into SPY. I'm looking to scout ES down and take out that 2 hour fair value gap because it looks like it's an easy target and allow tomorrow to happen before I position myself into SPY because the way the candlesticks look from here, even looking at SPX, it we had a flag pattern here and then we broke up and out, and now I think we need another level of consolidation, and it's gonna test this fair value gap here, these two potentially within here as it figures out how it's gonna continue up. That's just a little speculation I see. So if you're looking for I think the next best swing trade would be to allow price to drop a little bit and then buy. Once you see the wick has gone in this fair value gap, I would buy and then wait for a price to break out and come back up. Now, I don't know how fast and how long we're going to chop here. So just keep that in mind. So make sure you have the time. But Kim, I know you never have an issue with the time. But to me, I do feel more bullish than bearish still in the trend. It just depends on how right now until tomorrow happens. And who knows? What if tomorrow's candle because we love Trump so much, right?
Well, remember too, this week with the Republican convention, we're going to find out who his vice presidential pick is, and
And
that
I
might
feel like we can
freak a
come
lot of people
through
out.
all these fair value with a vengeance. That's how I
It
feel.
just makes me cackle out loud. I just think it's hilariously funny. I know it's terrible to laugh at, but the whole thing is hilarious. Yeah, I think the market's going to go nuts this week. And Powell's talking tomorrow. Like, just bake a cake, right? It's
And it's the
hilarious.
perfect recipe. I
And
know
yeah,
that
popcorn. We
we
just need
have a
popcorn and
liquidity
wine. Lots and lots of wine.
and we have quite a few fair value gaps down on the bottom here. And if price were to do what it's supposed to do, this is SPX now. Let me take this line. Let me actually delete this one and take this one. Okay. If price were to come back down and test a neckline, again, it has to come here. There's that wick. That's 55.25 on SPX. So, I mean, that just doesn't seem so far off to me that price could do something like that this week, y'all. Just be mindful, okay, of the downward pullback that is very much imminent with that's happening now. Who knows? Trump being shot in the face can make the whole market go up. Like I don't know which one they want to take.
Oh, I think their bets are changing now, though. It's just so hilarious.
Yeah,
I think we might be.
I'm
I
betting
think we might be
more.
better off finding certain individual stocks that are moving this week than the overall market. I think the overall market's going to be kind of nuts this week. I wouldn't be surprised.
The Dow looks like this, which is a struggle bus to the top. It's still trying to come up here though to fully test its high, right? Let's just remove all the drawings here and look at candlesticks. And then we have the NASDAQ, which looks very similar to The ES though, with the liquidity, I'm feeling chop, right? I'm feeling a lot of chop. That's just what I'm feeling. So just hold your horses, ladies. Take whatever money you can grab and get out. All right. And then as we look towards the other tickers, let's go down this rabbit hole. All right. We have Apple, who, it's stalling up here. So the thing about stall is it can ramp, it just ramp down, just oh man, I can see it. I could totally see it. I just need you to confirm what you want to do. So if Apple came down 220, all right, maybe a good time for me to get back in Apple. And if they need to shoot Trump in the face to make the market reset for a second so it can get more buyers, like I'm all for it. Like whatever their scheme is. It's crazy. I'm just gonna go with it, y'all. Just gonna go with it. Okay. So Apple could potentially come down here and do that. Apple on the weekly looks like this. It does look like it's continuing a breakout, but again, then as the candle can continue up, it can do quite a bit of movement down and up, and still hold a bullish trend. So I'm just being mindful of that. There is a fair value gap opening right here to come and test the fair value gap to lead to ensure that it stays bullish, right? This candle, let me just bring out my handy dandy little marker over here and we draw it this week's candle can totally look like this, but that still means a drop took place to come down here. Are we all following that? Right? Like that means that price came down first and then got back up. All right. So it's just pacing yourselves on your entry. We all entered too early, so that's all I'm alluding to right now. We could still go up, but just pace yourself on your entries as we know there's a fair value gap that can get tested in order for price to continue up. All right. And that's a great example of that on Apple right now. Like price can do something as easy as this. All right. And then that's a weekly perspective on Apple. You guys want me to chart this like in detail? We can, but I don't have to. I think you guys get the trend. All right. And then we have SOXL. Now I will chart SOXL in the video a little more deeply. All right. But SOXL from the weekly, it has not met its all-time high yet. Okay. So it's going to exhaust its way up here. All right. I believe it can make it. I believe you have to have a lot of patience for it to make it. But it's going to exhaust its way up here. It's already started to do that. All right. Again, this is a situation from the weekly perspective where we can have the candle come. We have a nice rejection from the top. So it is likely that it can go like this. It can be a candle like this week, which is not saying reversal, but it's not like running up either. All right. So just be mindful and say it comes all the way through. Right. It's just, hey. It can do that, and then it can come, and then finally, and then whatever, and then I could just keep drawing lines for days. But we want to always ensure that we understand the probability of where price can go that's not 100% in our favor. So we time our entries to the best of our ability. Right? So that's the same thing for XOXL. So I believe it's still coming up here. I believe you could probably get to $74. When you come down to the daily, it looks really good for it to continue to do that. But again, tomorrow's candle can be like this. Oh, that's a line, Randy, not the wrong tool. Sorry, guys. So tomorrow's candle could be like this, with maybe Tuesday candle being like this because it needs to cash out liquidity, with Wednesday candle being like this, Thursday candle being like this, and then that's not a reversal. That's still a trend. That's still a bullish trend. We just have to now talk about gun laws again for another freaking week. Like that's just so over gun law talk.
Now you mean gun laws that aren't gonna happen?
I was gonna say,
I
and they're still
know.
gonna
Well,
do nothing.
but they're gonna
Right.
try to talk about it more now because
Oh,
President
you need to have a
got
gun
shot in
because
the
if he had
face.
a gun, then somebody could have shot him other than the Secret Service. Is that what they're gonna try to say? Because I mean, clearly, I anyway, I don't understand. I just need to know, do I need to leave the country
Oh, I've been
after
said that.
vote him in? That's all I need to know.
I'm working on leaving the country right now. Just to get out of Dodge. I mean, I know this country is like the mecca of all when you look at it in a certain way, but I'm gonna let them work out their civil war somewhere else. Like I'll come back after the next civil war. Like I'll come back. I'm gonna let y'all white boys just handle that. Because black people, we just gonna be shooting to fend for our lives. We stuck in a new white boy drama. Like, nah, I'm over it. I'm not, no, no, I'm not fighting y'all battles. I'll let y'all duke it out, and I'll come back with, you know, 30 years from now, old and gray on a boat. Like, for real. All right.
'Cause
NVIDIA.
I'm a little nervous about this whole situation, though, to be quite honest with you.
Well, it's definitely there's gonna be some casualties with it. I can
Well, I think
only
we just saw one.
There's gonna be more. Um, so I just I guess I don't know what's up with my perspective and mindset, y'all, but I just understand that nobody gets off of planet Earth alive, even if you do live a peaceful Gandhi life your whole life, right? You just not, it's not designed that way. And because it's not designed that way, humans will do what humans do, as far as understanding our nature and enlightenment and behavior and envy and emotions and conflict and just all of that. And so, because I understand that, I understand there'll be more loss. I will hope and pray that all of us can come manage through this the best way we can and hopefully see the light on the other side after it settles. But it is going to be there is no peace without chaos. I'll just leave it like that. We've been at peace for a while. And so it's like the yin yang symbol. You can't have one without the other. And because I understand that, I'm not so fearful. I just understand. And it's just a survival mindset through it. That's it. All right. And we can trade from anywhere, right? And please remember that if we're coming to another recession, that just means all of us are about to get rich, like filthy rich. That's how I look at recessions. Because if you look at it as the opportunity, as everybody's panicking, that you not panic and do something different, that's usually when you get your come up. What's it?
Come on. So you only have 10%.
Okay, here, go back over there. Give me 1 second, ladies.
Where's the card?
Where's your charger? Okay, switch tablets. Because I don't know where it is right now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So with that understanding, we're just gonna keep business as usual, try to be as profitable as we can, ladies. And look out for that, when the market tanks, and we just be on the right side of it, or be disciplined enough to get out and switch positions. If you're a little late to the game, it's okay. Just jump in when you see it, right? So Nvidia has this ugly W looking thing, and it looks like almost a failed W, to be honest with you. It tried to come back up a little bit from the daily. It came down and it tried to come back up a little bit on Friday. I see this order fair value gap here, excuse me, at 122. If it does come for the fair value gap and can find support there, that'd be great. But if it does not find support, I would consider that a fail, and we may actually come for this gap that's down here. I'm not really sure what the players at B are planning, but with this stunt this weekend, I just don't see any good tricks up their sleeves. So we have this gap here that NVIDIA can come down to, And if we look on the weekly, zoom out a bit and look on the weekly, we are chopping up in this area. So depending on how many weeks we may chop, it can definitely break down to the downside. We have an abandoned baby. An abandoned baby, we've been noticed as abandoned baby. Abandoned babies do like to get eaten at some point. Typically, this is a weekly though, so it can take a bit of time to do it. Overall, though, like I said, this news got me feeling a little different about how we're gonna be. I was feeling a little like, oh, we can hold a bullish like trend into this week when we close on Friday. But then, as I was getting my hair retwisted, hair retightened yesterday, the headlines lit up across the salon TVs of, oh, Trump was shot, and here we are. And now my feelings have changed. That's all it takes. All right, that's all it takes. All right, it just became 6 o'clock, and let's just take a peek, and then we'll go to Caterpillar. Okay, so we have this. Let me do it like this. All right. All right, so ES has gapped up and opening, which is such a recipe for a rundown. So I would short it. I would definitely short this down. Oh Lord, here we go. Oh, let's have a fun night. The president in the hospital. Let's have a fun night. Oh, yeah, we can do that. And I don't know how fast it's gonna go. Some nights it can really move here. Let's see. All right, it came down quite a bit. We ran up into this fair value gap. Oh, this is lovely. Let's just short the market all the way down. And then we'll look at cat and silver, and then we'll go from there.
I honestly wonder how much the market really gives a shit about this.
That's what I'm trying to figure out too.
I think that they're going to be like, oh, shock and horror, but then they're going to be like, yeah, it's Americans. They take guns everywhere.
That's what
and he's fine. And half the people on the other side of the planet are all like, yeah, he's totally staged that. I mean, we're not the only ones saying that, right? For him to be like, oh, I got grazed just enough to bleed on camera. Oh, please. Mary, such a drama queen. Come on. He's such a drama queen. Come on. And he's such a baby. Like he got a paper cut and he needs an ambulance. Give me a break.
And get up and pump his fist.
Seriously, nothing. Mussolini would have been proud. Seriously, very scary. Very, very scary.
I know
I
what
do
you
not
mean.
want to be part of their civil war either. I'm serious. Right. I want to trade from like Thailand. Let's go.
For all the moms in the crib, pushing out them babies is way more than taking that little bullet scrape he got.
Seriously, though. But you know what? This could be like with flash overnight and flush it out overnight, and the market's going to open, and they're all going to be like, "Oh, clutching their pearls," like, "Oh no, poor Donald," and then they'll be like, "Oh, wait a minute, Powell's speaking at noon. Let's get busy with real work." We have
because
other
the
things to worry about.
presidency has no control over how the Fed chooses to print money.
That's right.
I mean,
That's
unless
right.
the president
they say.
So they say, right? Right. Oh, girl, don't even get me started. Yeah, seriously though.
I don't know. I thought that was the way the whole three branches was supposed to be.
The Federal Reserve's not included in the branches, though.
No, it's not.
The Federal Reserve's not in the branches. The Federal
No,
Reserve
it's
is
not, but I'm just saying, even those aren't. I don't believe anything is not about politics. Just me.
Not anymore, Mister. I have immunity. Yeah. No, sorry. There are no more checks and balances. You're right. That's over. As the futures fall before our very eyes.
Right. And I'm struggling to get in over technology issues. So y'all keep talking while I fight with my tech over here.
I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens tomorrow morning, though, because I do think we might flash down, like you said, but I will not be surprised if the market shakes this off and just says, let's go
potentially
play.
But I'm gonna take my money in the meantime.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Yeah, you go, girl.
I'm gonna take my money in the meantime and short this sucker down.
How much do I need to be able to trade futures?
To be able to do what?
Trade futures. How much do you have to have in an account?
To do a lot of times I'm using a micro and I just double up. So $1,700 buying power effect to do one micro as a stock. And that's me trading as a stock. If you want to do options, you can do options for a little less than that buying power on the micro side only. If you're doing options on ES, or if you're doing ES as a stock or micro ES as a stock. So if you're doing MES as a stock or you're doing ES options, it's going to be at least like $1,700 of buying power for that trade. So, give me 1 second, guys, because my computer, I don't know why I think this one is acting a jerk on my computer. Let me see. It's finally acting right, but I ain't got time for you, so I'm over here on my iPad. Like, give me what I want. Then boo.
Only if you all are interested. Biden is scheduled at 8 on CNN, or probably on all news station, to address the nation in light of what happened yesterday.
Biden.
Yes.
That's the worst person after their debates to come on.
How's he going to do that without cracking up? Seriously, we can't have a civilized conversation.
I don't know. That's why I thought I'd just let you,
Thank you. That's awesome.
You all know,
totally
and tune in if you're interested.
I'm definitely going to tune in because
Me too.
But you know what? One from one old white man to the other. I don't trust none of them.
Seriously. One old white man who actually can do his job surrounded by smart people, and one crazy white man who would walk around like the emperor's new clothes. You know it. You know it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he really would.
One. Yeah. No, you're the pretty one, honey. It's fine. We love you. No, do not sign me up for the cult. Absolutely not. Sorry.
You guys got to notice it was staged because the guy said he told the police officers that they saw the guy crawling on a roof. And how is the Secret Service gonna just let that not be covered? And it's supposed to be covered. I'm telling you.
And they've already said that they're not making any security changes to the Republican National Campaign this week. So if they're not making any security changes after the man gets shot at, yeah, they knew.
Yeah. Not only that, some of the attendees at the rally said the same thing, that they were trying to inform, like, I don't know if it was Secret Service or they were making notification. There's a man up there on the roof, right? So
oh man, wow.
Yeah, they were telling the local police officers, and you think the local police officers didn't say anything, but we have to remember that some of these local police officers and some of Secret Service are all people who don't like Black people or people of color. So we got to be careful about all this. I'm just telling you.
Or just coon dogging their way into a paycheck.
Oh yeah. And why would they not cover that? That's strange.
Mom, have you spoke to Auntie Deborah? Has she have any speculation on this topic?
Well, yesterday when the news first broke, her first thought was she thought he had something to do with it. So, let it settle after last night and today. And I plan to, after this call, to call her back and get her opinion on, further, her comments on it, basically.
All right, let me know. So just to let you guys
okay, I will.
I will. Who my aunt and my mom's sister, she is an FBI agent, and she's not just an FBI agent. She is one who has worked her way up to the top of some heavy seats in the FBI. Okay, and she Black too, so she got a lot to say. She definitely got an opinion because she know how they work from the inside.
Exactly.
And so.
And that's why she had that first thought,
I'm gonna have it even after her opinion, because I'm gonna tell you, why would the FBI just leave that open? And exactly, and the FBI should have this covered. They should have known better. No, somebody probably was supposed to cover it, and they knew what the whole sacrificial lamb was and didn't. I just don't. I believe this shit was staged. Excuse my language, but I just believe it was staged. I don't care what nobody's saying. Nobody gonna convince me differently that the
Brenda, your brother feel the same way.
That we all feel the same. I feel the same. I'm good. Now my brother, you guys, he's a lawyer, and he actually did some work in whistleblowing along his career. So these are two. This is my family, y'all. Like this is how. I got an FBI agent and a whistleblowing brother lawyer. Okay. And I agree with Kim. I said this. That's why as soon as I heard it, I laughed because I'm like, this is just all the same shenanigans. Like, it's all staged. We all learned the truth about, we even learned the true truth about what do I want to say, about Hitler and the Jews at the end of the day. Like, how much of that was planned and set up by the players at hand. Okay. Like, it's the same thing all over again. I
Well,
mean,
this morning,
seriously.
if you can find it on NBC, they did a special edition this morning, and they interviewed one of the attendees at the rally. It was a Caucasian white woman, and she said basically, no, I didn't see anything, but she didn't understand from the position where she was sitting and where the other two people were shot. She almost felt like it came from the back of what do you want to call it thing where they were sitting, that stand area, because she was sitting near the two people that were shot, and then Trump was in a different position. So it's just her description of that area. It doesn't make sense. So I would just say for more details, just to hear exactly how she worded it, check out NBC, their special edition this morning, if you're interested. Okay. But that just raised a lot of speculation in my mind after she gave her comments on the news this morning.
It's a lot of speculation because you got this whole project 2025 and then now he gets shot. I'll wait for y'all to come on. Like, let's be real. This
And
is,
I just started reading Project 2025. I'm like, this stuff
it's a
is
white man supremacist
ridiculous.
agenda all day.
But you got some white women right up in there. So
I mean, of course, white women, because they gotta sleep with their husbands. Duh.
I just don't. I don't know.
Duh.
I don't. I just
Like,
don't get this.
them supporting that protects them, my man protects me, that whole.
And I could get with them if they were abortion right people and then abortion all the way to the end of life, but they're not. If you're gonna be pro-life, be pro-life. That means from beginning to end.
Not for nothing, but the same people that claim to be pro-life hate mothers. The maternal mortality rate in this country is worse than 95% of the third world countries in the world right now.
I
That is
know. That's what
terrifying,
I'm saying. They're
especially for
not
women
from
of color,
beginning
right?
to
Like
end.
it's madness. It has nothing to do with life. I
No,
only
it
care about
doesn't.
life from conception to birth. After that, you're on your own.
That's what I'm saying, and that's ridiculous.
Right. That's
So
ridiculous.
then you can't be pro-life.
No.
You mean you're
They
pro
call
having a
themselves
baby.
Christian too, but
Can't
that's
be
bullshit too.
pro-life when you're
So
trying to kill out, literally make a melanated race extinct, but not really, because then you have the Asians over here that are intentionally targeting Black men to sleep with their women so they can have melanated kids. Y'all, look, this melanin is precious. Okay, it's been precious.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you what. One of the sorors was like, one of her friends asked her, that's white, married to a Black man. She's like, well, what is gonna happen with my children? She's like, what the hell you think gonna happen with your children? You better vote the right way.
yeah, seriously though. Seriously. Oh my God. Okay, let's chart because this is giving me hives. Yeah, seriously. I'm so scared. Project 2025 is the scariest thing in our lifetime. And anybody that doesn't know that needs to pay attention. It's terrifying. We need to
It
get good at the
is
stock market.
losing their power. All right, let's go to Cat. Was that the last one that we Cat and Silver?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do it.
I appreciate you guys talking about it. This is the news we crave for, right?
Clearly.
Us
Well, and
traders
this news will affect the market. So we aren't like just talking to hear ourselves talk.
No, we're not. No, it definitely will. It's just a matter of how. We're all just sitting, speculating, and waiting. And I'm grateful and appreciative of hearing you guys' thoughts. I'm glad we're all on the same page of 2020, Project 2025. This is why I'm just educating my baby the way I can, because she got to really live through it. Right? All right. So here we go. I know, y'all. Let's
Deep
get
heavy sigh. It's almost time to drink.
I've been drinking.
Oh, I'm jealous.
So Caterpillar here. We have the weekly. All right. So how do we feel about it now, Esther? Now that we
You
got
know,
Trump
I
in
so
there?
I got in on Friday. Like it's only my whole trade, like my call traded was at negative $7.50 at the end of the day. So I was like, you know what? Hell, I'm gonna stay in because I still believe that now that it's over 335, I do think Caterpillar's gonna try and go up. And I actually like the way the weekly chart looks. I feel like this consolidation has been going on for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks now, and we have this little channel that has been trading in. I feel like this might be our support here. That fair value gap down at three, these candles right here. Yeah, down here. It looks like
So this is on the
weekly
weekly
support.
right
Yeah, but
now. Okay.
I don't think it's going to come back down that far again. It tested it and it created higher lows from there. So I feel like we might see some entertainment with Caterpillar this week. I'm hoping because they have earnings week after this. So I believe it's the 24th. Could be making that up. Hold on.
So I believe you're right. We can be in a run up, but I believe it may be just only as long as these fair value
Oh
gaps
yeah,
can
it's not
hold.
going to go higher than no. I mean, I'm talking 340. Like I'm happy to get out at 340 with
Okay.
the beginning of
So
that fair
this,
value gap. But yeah, the weekly.
yeah. So I think this weekly fair value gap get tested, and then it potentially chops even more.
Yeah,
And
and
may
earnings are
actually,
July 30th. So we have a couple weeks before to get out of Dodge because I would not stay in earnings. I would not stay in a trade on anybody right now during earnings, personally.
okay. And
Not with
then
options. So because they're too volatile.
yeah, I got you with that. Like, or if you do it, just make sure you're day trading. And you can day trade options. You just have to go in with that mindset. So if Cap would have run up 347 is the close of that weekly fair value gap. So that's doable. That's if it even wants to take the whole thing out, right? Because it's actually a fair value gap. So 340, like Esther is saying, it will test it. 341 will test it. If 341 will be putting a wick in it. And then it can leave it, right? It can leave it with a wick in it. So it does not
You know,
have to stay long.
I was day trading this on Friday, and I set a target for 339, and it got to 338, and it turned around. So I was like, well, fine, be that way. But at the end of the day, I started to go back up again. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna wait now because now it looks like it was gonna, and it gapped up like that. I thought that took that as a good sign on the daily.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, you know. So we'll see. I'm hoping to give it another shot tomorrow, and I'll happily take my money and run.
Yeah. And I mean, the rest of the bacon candle is worth, 340. That's fine. I see it too. And then it can easily just wick up there to collect that liquidity to just come right
Mhm.
back down, however it wants to do. It's a pretty strong level of support right here when you look at it from the daily. But then when you come out to the weekly, it's like, how much more you want to chop here before you like maybe just bounce up and then come back down. So we see the overall move from both perspectives of what it could do. And I think that's the best we can do and then trade, up and then trade down when necessary. But Cat, it doesn't look too bad. And if you can just long as by 9:30 tomorrow or some point is at 340, you're good. So
Yeah.
just be
Like I said,
done.
I even take 338.9. I'm happy. Like I would just a little bit, just little bits. I'm like you said, take your money and run. That's the kind of
Mhm.
week it's gonna be.
I
So
like day trading. I find it
me
more
too.
profitable to just kind of go day by day with the market for me. Because as you can see, presidents get shot in the face, and I can't call for when that's gonna happen. So
Sorry,
day
it's so
by
funny.
day works for me. So
I will
I
tell
can
you that, and caterpillars are really cool. Like I've experienced this now. Caterpillars are very cool stock. Like to trade, I've traded the same call. Get in, get out, get in, get out. $100, $100, $80. Just take it. That's literally same 350 August call. And it makes its money, hits its head, turns around. Wait till it hits another fair value gap, get back in. Right. So it works.
All right. So how you feeling about silver? What does silver have to say about presidents getting
I have
shot
no,
in the
I'm
face?
hoping that silver actually does really well tomorrow after a president gets shot because, it's a flight to safety, right? Because it's a commodity. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what happens. I would love to just get out of this trade, but it's a December call. It's literally costing me $1 a contract a day. If the damn thing would just stabilize and start going back up instead of just bouncing around in the same 50 cents, my life would be better. But it's okay. We're above 28. If we can stay above 28, there's no real reason for me to get out. But I'd like
Silver is
it to stay above
helping with
28.
your trading patience. That's all. Just look at it as a win.
Sure.
You're getting
Okay.
lots of practice.
Sure. Okay.
And you're gonna be great.
Okay.
You're gonna be great at swinging things and everything by the time you're done with silver. I'm telling you, it's
Okay. Okay.
gonna be a
Thank you.
beautiful lesson.
But I don't really get any vibes that it's gonna fall. It's still swimming in this
I
daily fair
agree.
value gap. So, all right. As long
And
as you
this
don't see a catastrophe, I'm fine.
so far so good. We'll see how this whole market is gonna play out for us, lady. It's like, we're looking back at yes and spy, right? Where we knew we could be in a choppy zone. At least I knew from Friday, even without Trump getting shot. So, now it's just more confluence for me to be like, yeah, maybe it's time to short the market just for a little bit, get my money a run while we shake this off. Once we find out that he's okay and he can still talk shit, then it's just business as usual. Because I don't think him being shot in the face is going to prevent him from talking shit. Now that would have been nice if that makes him a mute now all of a sudden. That'd be great. But I highly doubt that.
We are so not that lucky. Honest to God, we are not that lucky.
Make him the female version of Helen Keller, like it made some nerve damage. He can't see or speak anymore. That'd be amazing.
So to punish him, we'd just have to change the furniture? Really? That'd be awesome.
And Randy,
Right.
it's just his ear. It just grazes his little ear just a little bit, just enough. Okay.
See,
No facial damage, just the ear.
I went through more than that giving birth to Jay. Like seriously,
Exactly.
I had no
We all
epidural,
did.
nothing. Yeah.
He'd be all right. He'd be all right. Anytime he was able to, when they stood him up, he would want to give like power, put his fist up there. He's all right. He's all right.
The way men take pain, right, ladies? In general. But looking at this is, we'll see. It's bouncing around, it gapped up, it's coming down. The 15-minute looks wonky. It looks like it could run up and close its fair value gap as well. Could have some interesting moves take place here because look at how this candle looks. It just looks kind of crazy to begin with. So, hey, we'll see. Esther already called it. It could be just a bunch of shenanigans. Because we know I mean, you got to remember, Trump came into his trial saying that the whole thing was a joke. Like he let us know that it was all a joke then. And so now to see him get shot is just laughable. And that's all we're at. Now we can look at some of these currency pairs and see if that maybe has something to do. What does the world think about Trump getting shot? Right? Does the world care? Yes or no, And if we look at USD JPY as we finished up today, ladies, we have, USD JPY took a pretty big hit on Friday. It came down quite nicely. But it came down to meet like its neckline level here. It could continue back up from here. It's not a full reversal from my perspective. This candle is third weekly candle. I'm counting 3 from the doji up top because I need this candle here that it's working on to confirm if this is a true evening star pattern and it is going to continue to fall. So I would think the world would be ecstatic about Trump, getting shot in the face, but we're not 100. It's just Trump, right? We just don't like how Trump speaks about things, but how this plays out as far as his, business dealings and other shenanigans that he can play into politics, right? We don't know where that stands yet, right? We're still kind of looming for that clarity on where this is going to go. So we'll just see how this plays out. We have USD JPY having a weekly fair value gap that it's working on to close back up to the top here. I'm not sure where it will, how high it will run up to or where it will stop 100%. There's not too much liquidity back down here without breaking all of this chop here. And I would believe that it would need to gather a few more sellers from the top before it would come down further to the bottom. So I do believe that USD JPY may chop here a little bit as it figures out what to do with Trump. The world figures out what to do with Trump and then potentially continue on from there, right? So we dropped a lot Friday, but now we're just kind of sitting here. I have to see if this is going to be a continuation to the downside. from the 2-hour perspective, it looks like it could be, but I'm not 100% sure, especially now with this data, on exactly how, the shooting of politicians affects Forex. That's like a new thing I'm learning right now. Okay. Like,
And sadly, the charts can't laugh. So,
no, you never know. We get those, I don't know, we get some funny shapes on here that may look like laughs. You never know, Esther. It really may just be comical. So we see the drop down, initial, excuse me. I'm like stumbling all of my words today, ladies. The initial drop down here, but we'll see how we continue to flag. And I'm gonna go and break down. I decided to just jump in the short. I do believe that price may continue down. I already felt that way even Friday without Trump getting shot. At least to this 2-hour fair value gap here. I do think we can potentially test further into that. I'll keep an eye on it. And if we do not come down, back to this like 15-minute fair value gap close, then I may stay out and wait and see what happens tomorrow after Powell speak. I may. We'll just kind of go from there. But I'm feeling kind of bearish in general. And I feel like what I got from from Trump and what potentially may Powell say may just give a little bit of uncertainty. So I'm not really betting on fear, I'm betting on uncertainty. And with that uncertainty and us waiting for that, we can come and clear this area, and then figure out what we're gonna do from there. So just taking it slow for me right now, just kind of one little fair value gap at a time, and see how we do. Any other questions, concerns? I know this particular Sunday school was quite different, but we had quite different news.
Real quick, my
Mhm.
girlfriend works for John Deere and as one of the managers, and she said they're getting ready to do some layoffs. Do layoffs normally cause stock to go down or up? Because that could go. People could see that as a good thing. Your people who want your value of your stock can go up, can be like, oh, that's a good thing.
ticker's DE.
What'd you say, Esther?
DE is a ticker for John
Thank
Deere.
you. And
I
I
think
was
so.
like, what is it for
There you go.
Deere and Company? Okay. Um, I when layoffs happen, y'all please correct me if I'm wrong. From what I've seen is that layoffs can sometimes make the stock go up. Sometimes, depends on where that company's at. I've seen them drop too. I'm trying to remember what example it was. I could have sworn they laid off, and
I feel like it makes a difference how they spin it, right? Like
exactly.
if they spin it as we're cutting costs so that we can shore up the bottom line, and that means more money to shareholders, then the stock would go up theoretically,
Right.
right? But if it's
Right.
we are in deep shit and we hired too many
Right.
people and we can't cover our payroll, so mama needs to, go to the bank and make something else happen. If forward guidance is brought up and says, we don't see the demand, and that's why we're starting to pare down how many people we employ, that would be bad. I would think that would be bad for the stock.
Right.
Right.
And
So
that's
I
what
think it really depends on the conversation
it
around the
depends on the
layoffs.
company, and that's what I'm getting
Yeah.
into. It
Yeah.
really depends on why the company is laying off. Like it's just like, because I've seen both. I've seen like literally headlines going, oh, they laid off, blah blah blah, and then the stock just ran up. And then I've seen the same headlines, this company laid off, and the stock plummeted. So it's like it really depends on other variables of that company. You can't just base it off of layoffs. It really comes down to why they're laying off. And if the
Yeah, I
why
think
is
that.
good, then yes, it's gonna go up. If the why is bad, then no, it's gonna go down. Right. So
We also have some interesting earnings this week that might shift the market a little bit, especially banks like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, and on Thursday, Netflix. So that might provide us some entertainment as well.
Netflix is on Thursday. Okay. This time. Wow. Okay. All right. Who else, Esther? We got quite a few that by the end of this month. I know
Yeah,
I
there's quite a few.
by
But
the
this week
end.
is Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs,
Let
the
me look
devil,
and
basically.
see.
That's so, the devil.
Investing. And then we'll close with this, ladies.
Earnings. There you go.
Where's my isn't there like a drop down? Why is CNBC acting funny?
Go to investing. No, you found it. It was right there. Go to investing
It was
again.
on
And then
investing,
go
but I usually
down.
get like a
Go down.
drop
There, right here.
down.
Yeah, no, right along the bar, right
Okay,
under the
I see
yellow.
it
There
now.
you go.
But the
Hey.
drop down that I'm used to.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
you're right.
okay.
There is a drop down. I think on the phone it
Okay,
works
I'm like, why
differently.
isn't it
You're
not
not
pop?
crazy. No, no.
Okay, thank you. That's all I was. Okay. So you said this week, Monday, a few good companies, Goldman Sachs, banks, and things like that.
Right. Banks.
Yeah,
Big,
yeah,
that the
banks. The
market tends
banks
to
are,
respond absurdly to that.
yeah,
Charles
the banks
Schwab with all the
do.
people that left them because they sucked in the transfer.
We got quite a few.
And some of the banks that were in trouble too, like Citizens
There's a lot
Financial,
of
so
banks.
it's going to be interesting to see how they spin it. That's all.
Yeah, because these banks hold Trump's money. So some of them, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, girl can dream.
So what does that mean?
I mean, maybe someday somebody will freeze his accounts. That would be fun. I would enjoy that
He
immensely.
has, I think he's in too many industries to freeze stuff. Because you gotta remember he's an entrepreneur first. He is not a politician first.
Just want him to run off with his boyfriend Putin and be done with it and leave the rest of us alone. Seriously, I'm done. Shot in the face.
I feel
Bullshit,
you.
please. Please. Thank you so much. Today was fun. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome, ladies. You guys have a great one. Stay safe trading tonight. If you do, as you see, price came down a little bit. It's bouncing around, right? It could do a few different things. So stay diligent on your trades. If it breaks up, hey, Trump getting popped in the face makes all of us go up. I'm good for whatever. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to figure it out what they feel about it.
Well, let your mom know I'm 8 o'clock. I'm gonna be watching CNN.
She's still here, so she
Oh,
heard.
yes, Mother Alexander, I'm gonna be watching it, waiting, patiently waiting. I didn't know I was on video. I ain't supposed to be on video. No, man.
All right, ladies, you all have fun. Take care. We will reconvene in the morning to debrief about what was said about that Biden said tonight. So this will be a very interesting week. You guys stay tuned for it all. Have a great night's sleep if you can get one. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. All right.
Happy trading for futures, people.